I don't need anybody to pay me.
So you resigned from the Socialist Party. What's next for you? Are you joining an existing movement or a political party? Are you forming a new political party, or you will wait for the Socialist Party convention to go and contest?
There are a lot of political institutions. There's no need for me to form one. I'm consulting, and in the next couple of days we'll be taking up a position. Even today, some of my colleagues are flying in this country. One of them is Professor Lumumba, is coming in. I'll be speaking to him and consulting with him. When I'm done with this consultation, I'll be able to state my position.
I have noticed you have a very close relationship with Professor Lumumba. What business is there between the two of you? You don't really have to tell us the details, but like you can just share what's safe for the public to consume.
Look, he believes in me, I believe in him. That's it.
I understand. So he's coming over, and then when can we expect your final position on which direction you're taking?
In the next couple of days.
There are numbers on the screen that you could actually use to give us a call. If you have a question, contribution, or comment for Honorable Kelvin Kaunda, you can actually give us a live call so that you can come through and, of course, bring forth your question, contribution to Honorable Kelvin Kaunda, and, of course, we'll be able to take that call. If you can, go to our Facebook page, search for Shosta's House. That's our official Facebook page. Drop your comment there. I'll be able to read it out so that he may be able to attend to your question. Honorable, let's come to a conversation that has actually been going around the country in the past week or so. There's been a debate over President Hakainde Hichilema's decision to attend the inauguration of Tanzania's President Samia Hassan, an election widely condemned as flawed, with opposition leaders jailed and protesters reportedly killed. Critics say that showing up, President Hichilema indirectly endorsed an undemocratic process, while his supporters argue Zambia can't afford to jeopardize its economic ties with Tanzania over moral concerns. As an aspiring presidential candidate, I would put it that way. I know you didn't say that. Okay, as a politician,
I'm glad you have said that.
As a politician, yeah. I take back my words. Yeah. But as a politician, do you think President Hichilema's presence in Tanzania was an act of diplomacy or a betrayal of democratic values he so often preaches?
Well, my take is that the president's decision to attend
the inauguration
ceremony for Tanzanian president was more of a diplomatic decision than anything else. Other than it being a diplomatic decision, it was also an economic decision. Look, Zambia imports pretty much of their goods through the Dar es Salaam port. If we don't have a cordial relationship between ourselves and Tanzania, how are we going to get our goods in our space? And it's not up to us to decide who becomes a leader in Tanzania. And history has demonstrated that our presidents have been attending the inauguration ceremony, and none of them has missed. None of them. So had HH missed, he was going to be the first president to have missed the inauguration ceremony in Tanzania. And I think instability in Tanzania is instability in Zambia. I was expecting the Minister of Energy to speak to these issues when he had a press briefing around the subject of the diesel the diesel shortage.
Yes.
Because for almost 4 or 5 days, the port was closed in Tanzania. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that our fuel comes in through the Dar es Salaam port. So to hear the minister talking about this and that was rather regrettable. And because the obvious reason why we have been experiencing this diesel shortage is because of their pesos in Tanzania. And so the president needed to make a diplomatic decision. And so him attending that inauguration ceremony is more of a diplomatic decision and more of an economic decision than anything else.
If you're in that position, it's something, it's what you would do.
I would have done the same thing. Because, okay, so if the President HH didn't attend that ceremony, are you telling me that the ceremony couldn't have gone on?
Could have gone on.
So, could we have, if he didn't attend, something could have changed?
I don't think anything would have changed much.
Of course. So we need Tanzania for economic stability. And we have to deal with whoever is a leader. Because it's not up to us to choose who becomes the leader in that space. Whoever the leader is at that time, we have to engage with such a one. So if it's Sami, President Sami is a leader at a time, we have to engage with her. If anybody else becomes a leader in that space, we have to engage with whoever becomes a leader.
Wonderful. You recently appeared to endorse Honorable Brian Mundubile as the best candidate for the PF. Is that an indication of your intention to shift camp, but first cause confusion in Socialist Party?
Look, in the first place, there's been some efforts around having a flag bearer to represent the United Front. So if there are conversation around having a flag bearer around the United Front, should we in the opposition not take an interest as to who becomes the leader in the PF? And again, this issue was taken out of context. I listened to Dr. Cosmas Musomari alleging that that was an act of indiscipline. How does it become an act of indiscipline? When you are pushing an agenda to have a united front, and yet you have no interest as to who becomes a leader in the party, well, actually not just a party, the biggest opposition party. If Dr. Cosmas Musomari has an issue with Brian Mundubile, he just needs to state his position. Is he telling the Zambian people that he does not believe in the leadership of Brian Mundubile? Look, when I'm a member of a political party, do I lose my identity as Kelvin Kaunda such that I can't contribute my own opinion on the subject of public discourse? When I issued that statement, I did not issue it in my capacity as a political bureau member, no. Nor as a National Youth Chairperson, no. I issued that statement in my individual capacity as Kelvin Kaunda. So if Dr. Cosmas Musomari, for instance, has an issue with Brian Mundubile, let him tell us who he supports as a PF potential candidate.
What about Brian Mundubile makes him a better candidate out of everyone else?
Look, I gave my own reason in that statement. He's inclusive. He's a normal human being. He's an intellectual. And his profile stands tall. It's public knowledge. So if others have other candidates, let them pitch them up. But they shouldn't be the one to suppress my idea and my opinion. No, I refuse. If I have an opinion on any subject matter, give me the latitude. Don't be the one to suppress it in the name of, is a member of political bureau and so on and so forth. But also, how are you going to build a united opposition if you have no interest as to who becomes a leader in other political parties. My endorsement for Brian Mundubire was not for him to become a leader or a flag bearer for the United Opposition. No, was for the PF leadership. So Comrade Cosmas Musomali had an issue with that. Does he want to become a leader himself in the PF? So why should he be agitated by me endorsing Brian Mundubire as a leader of the PF, unless himself has an interest to become a president of the PF? But if that's not his intention, I see no reason as to why he must be agitated.
I was saying today, the 15th of November 2025, that we have about 271 days to election day. 13th of August, is it 12th or 13th of August 2026? Do we have a formidable opposition right now to stand against the UPND and amass 50+1 votes in the election in terms of the presidency?
Look, the biggest opposition in this country right now is the Zambian people. And the Zambian people have already decided and have taken a position as to who they will vote for. That is a subject under consideration right now.
I hear that. I hear that a lot, that the biggest opposition is the Zambian people. But at the end of the day, something that I would like you to take into consideration is that these Zambian people must decide on one person who they are going to give 50% votes plus one. Do we have such a person according to you right now?
Before the end of this year, we'll have won.
Before the end of this year, we'll have won?
Yes.
So you know that this year ends in about 6 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. I will have this conversation with you at the end of the year.
I'll be happy to have this conversation with you.
Just so that we can revisit it and,
of course.
And see where. So also you've called for unity among opposition parties ahead of 2026, just like many others. What do you think is hindering the unity?
Selfishness. That's what is hindering this unity. Okay, how cannabis? Life must continue. This country should not evolve around individualism. Fundamental decisions, critical decision, economic decision, and any other decision must never be anchored around individualism. We have a country at stake.
Yes.
Well, and we have to make a decision in the best interest of this country,
and especially for the people. Because of time, I'm gonna have to. I've got two last questions. I was gonna avoid this question, but I think I need to bring it up because it's something that I've seen on social media. There are some bloggers, and I know you've come across this, and I'm bringing it up because it's a narrative that is taken out there. I just need to hear your response. There's some bloggers are trying to discredit you, Honorable. Saying your command of English is not so eloquent. I know you've come across this. And therefore, according to them, you do not have a look of a president.
So each sungu, each leaders. We had the most eloquent president in Malawi, Wachakwera. What did he deliver for the people of Malawi? English is just a language. The same way I struggle to speak Tonga. Charijivotu. It's the same way I struggle to speak Bemba. Achanyapo. It's the same way I struggle to speak Chinyanja, Chiribwanji. Kulije. So, leadership must never be reduced to one's ability to communicate effectively. There's much more. The Chinese president is not as eloquent in the Queen's language, as is eloquent. As is passionate. Sorry, he struggles, and a number of the Chinese investors in this country struggles. English is just like any other language. And I want to agree with my dear brother who is now incarcerated, Comrade Bowman Lusambo, who also had advanced this argument. So if you are going to judge me on the basis of my ability to communicate in the Queen's language and not on my ability to provide leadership, I have seen a lot of people who speak very eloquently and yet they are empty tins.
Empty tins?
Yes, empty tins. Because the only thing they possess is language. And no leadership skills, no analytical skills, nothing.
What are some of the strengths that you bring to the table as a politician?
Collective leadership, rising together as one Zambia, one nation. That's my strength. I don't believe in individualistic model of leadership.
Let's pick a call too. I know I need to let you go. My headsets. Let's pick a call too. And okay. Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
Very fine, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Kim.
Come again? You said your name is who?
My name is Kim.
Kim. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Are you able to get me? I'm saying my name is Kim and I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Okay, please, you may go on, please.
Yes. Thank you so much. I would want to appreciate what you are doing. I want to appreciate the leadership of the Kelvin Kaunda. The Kelvin Kaunda is somebody who I know, somebody who hates the school that I have been to. I've seen how humble he is. I've seen his leadership. Kamau Monroe says true leadership stems from those that have demonstrated, and true leadership stems from those that have a moral conviction, and those that have submission to a higher diet,
Because of time, I'm just going to allow you 2 minutes to make a submission. Please be as quick as you can.
my submission is that they are allowed to see the Kelvin Kaunda and we have his support, and he has our support.
Would you like him to contest presidency in the Socialist Party? Would you like him to join a party like the PF? Would you like him to start his new political party? Thank you, Mr. Kim. Have yourself a wonderful day. Honorable, feedback says that they would like to see you start a new political party.
Well, I don't think that there is need for us to establish new political parties. We already have enough political parties in this country. And what is important is for us to be able just to identify which other political parties we can work with. I appreciate my brother's opinion, but we already have enough political parties in this country. Some of them existing by mere statistics. We recognize that. And because of that, we don't want to go through those processes which others have already gone through. What is important now is for us to be able to come together and work together for the better good of our people.
So for people who would like to support you as going forward as a politician, and this is my last question, Honorable, what are some of the 3 policy priorities that would distinguish your leadership from the current political parties? Policies that you would like to implement?
Well, in terms of policy position, number 1, we will have to revolutionalize the education sector. I'm a passionate educationist. Our education sector needs to be revolutionalized. we have to revolutionalize the agriculture sector, and we have to revolutionize the financial sector. But if you give me a fourth one, it will be the energy sector.
So
last time,
education, financial.
I've talked about the education sector. I've talked about the financial sector, the agriculture sector, and the energy sector. There's need for a revolution. By revolution, I mean changing the way we've managed these sectors.
For instance, what's not working with our education sector right now?
Our curriculum does not prepare our young people to innovate and create. It prepares them to memorize things. Is this the kind of education which can compete favorably in the 21st century? And the answer is a no. Today, we place a lot of premium on one's ability to speak the Queen's language than on the ability to innovate and create. These are some of the things that we need to speak to. The agriculture sector today is in a mess because it deploys Stone Age kind of innovation. The energy sector must be relevant.
What's one desperate thing that our agriculture sector needs right now?
Look, one thing which is very clear is that AI is here to stay. So we need to introduce agri-tech. Gone are days when our people must rely on a shovel and a hoe to deliver food for our people. We need to have delivery policies that speaks to agriculture being mechanized. We're living at a time when technology has advanced. So why should our people continue to use hoes when the government can make it possible for them to use technology and have their agricultural activities mechanized? The financial sector is the same. How are you going to support innovation and creativity when your participation in the financial sector is less than 2%? When the civil service is perpetually indebted, when their money which is collected by NAPSA is given to Macro Ocean to construct their roads, and when they want to borrow their own money which is being banked in any of these commercial banks, they are made to pay punitive interests. When our education sector is poorly funded, the research function has been neglected. When our graduates today have no hope for the troubled, have no hope in terms of them being able to get recruited in gainful employment. What's the value of education if it does not take away the poverty? What's the value of education if it does not resolve our immediate challenges in the community? What's the value of this education if it can't even resolve the challenge of road shedding? Today, most of our research centers are poorly funded. So how are we going to deal with the challenges of our time if the research functions are not adequately funded? So where will the solutions come from if it's not from our researchers? We want to have an education system which is capable and able to deliver value, which is able to resolve the challenges of our time. Such is the kind of education we want to see moving forward. And not the one which just teaches our children to memorize the things, prepares our graduates for clerical works. No, our people deserve much better.
Wonderful. Honorable, because of time, I'm going to ask you to just say your closing remarks to the people that are supporting you, the people that have been following this program.
To our sympathizers and supporters, the new must be born, not in the freshness of the face, but in the freshness of the ideas. And so let's rise together as we champion the new.
Honorable, I'd like to thank you so much for making time for us. Everything that has been said, we appreciate, and of course, I'm pretty much sure a lot of people across Zambia, across Africa, across the world have actually been following this conversation, and they appreciate your time.
Thank you for the privilege, and I look forward to a lot more engagement on this platform.
We've been having a conversation with Honorable Kelvin Kaunda. He's actually, shared a lot, and of course, hopefully, he's answered a lot of questions that you had. You could actually follow this program on a Facebook page called Shosta's House. Until next week, this has been Jackson Piri.